Whoa, tailspin. Whoa, tailspin. Da 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 da, and however the lyrics go, da da da, tailspin. Alright, so yeah. Here is Talespin for Turbografx-16. Hey, did you know about this one? Well, maybe you never heard of games like Sinistron or Tricky Kick or, I don't know, crap like that for Turbografx-16. Well, some of it's good, but you probably know what Talespin is. You know, it's based off a Disney cartoon, and those were like hugely popular back in the day. But anyways, let's talk about this, I don't know, kind of obscure Turbografx-16 game, and let's see if it holds up. Alright, so if you don't know this game, you play as Baloo. And Baloo has this really cool weapon where you get to throw coconuts at different enemies and stuff. Yeah. It's actually a very cool weapon. It has good long range. You can fire at different angles. You know, it's pretty effective. I like it. Alright, so storyline going into this game is that you have to find 4 pieces of a lost map, and once you find all 4 pieces, boom, it'll lead to a lost city of treasure. Alright, so these greedy bears are gonna see if they can find it. Of course, it won't be so easy because like different people are out to stop you for some reason. You know, evil dudes like Don Carnage, Shere Khan, some octopus, yeah, air weirdos. The controls are decent enough, but Baloo himself has this very quick jump to him that can be very difficult to control. It sucks that he's such a big target and all. He kind of drops like a rock once he's fallen, so don't expect anything that's too floaty. And it takes a while to get used to, especially when you're jumping on certain platforms. You go to make that jump, you swear you hit the button, but nope, it doesn't register. It's kind of a weird thing. Yeah, and sadly there's quite a bit of times where you actually had to rely on the platforming, especially in the early jungle stages and the ice stage. And the graphics, I wouldn't say they're horrible or anything. You got lots of detail. Enemies, you know, look nice and all. Background art is actually not too bad. There are a few times where it disappoints, especially in the flying stages. Yeah, you get a lot of repetition here and there. And the game is surprisingly very short. Yeah, this game has pretty much rental written all over it because there are only 7 stages. Each particular stage is not too long. Alright, we made the game way too short. How are we going to make the game more difficult? Let's not give the player a lot of health. In fact, I think there's only like one stage that had like a health power up, and that's it. And there's times when the game doesn't like refill your health automatically. Say you go to like a new stage or something, forget it, you're screwed. Yeah, thankfully the game is pretty forgiving on extra lives and all that. All you have to do is go to like an overhead scene, boom, you might get extra life, or continue if you're good enough to get it at the end. Sadly, if you get the points, nothing really happens. You just get a better score, which sadly the game doesn't actually save, so screw that. Yeah, so once you find all 4 pieces, you then go on to the final 3 levels. You get a nice little shooting scene like every Turbografx-16 game has. Yeah, it's kind of weird because your actual plane is actually a very big target, especially compared to the other pirates that are trying to shoot you down. So you gotta take that into effect. But it's a short stage, and once you learn the patterns, it's not too bad. Yeah, on the 6th stage, it's kind of weird because you're actually playing as a little bear cub kid, and he can't actually attack. So if you see an enemy, all you have to do is jump over them and avoid them somehow, or you're screwed. It's simpler than it sounds, but it's a nice way to break up the gameplay a little bit. And Kid can also use his little, I don't know, glider thingy to help him glide through the air and float a little bit in case he needs to get out of danger or get some of the power-ups he needs to actually complete the stage. Yep, and once that's all said and done, you go to the final stage. You know, take out a few enemies there, jump on a few annoying platforms, fight Don Carnage, and boom, you complete the game and probably get one of the worst edits I've probably ever seen in my life. Ah! I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say it's very, very disappointing. There's no gold, but at least you learned a life lesson. Yeah, screw off. And that's Tailspin for Turbografx-16. Graphics, decent. Soundtrack, not too bad. Controls, definitely need a lot of work, but not the worst I ever played. And it's passable. It's nothing too groundbreaking, and if there was more levels and more depth to the gameplay, I would have given it a much higher rating. But as it stands, yeah, I get Tailspin here for Turbografx-16 a 58 out of 100. Hey, it's a game that's at least kind of good, and I still liked it way better than that stupid flying game on the original Nintendo. And that has to account for something. Still no masterpiece, but hey, what can you do? Alright, and that's it for me. This is AZWC, World Champion, over and out. Always like beating up that little guy.